his run. He is playing
Blue-White Flash, straight
yeah.
seas. Oh no, red.
No, he's got red. He's got Desperate Ravings and Pillar of Flame and a Searing Spear and a Devil's Plate.
Desperate Ravings. Wow, this is a little bit spicier.
And Leigh McCombs on the right-hand side playing 5-color control.
Is this anything? Is it? Have we got like a door?
We've got 3 copies of Curse of Death's Hold, which is a little outside of the box.
It's sweet against Hetrick's deck, right?
Yes.
I mean, really sweet.
So, Hetrick's going to Thought Scour himself at the end of the turn.
Sphinx's Revelation down, Pillar of Flame up. That was a poor exchange for him.
Yes.
Again?
Thought Scour again.
Devil's Play down.
And Steam Vents.
And Geist up?
Yeah, Geist is Saint Trapped.
Do you like that? Do you just like nug myself, leave up only 1?
It depends what he's trying to represent, what he's searching for.
He like pretends that he's gonna miss a land drop?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Is that Sphinx's Revelation?
Yes.
You can cast that for 0 this turn if you wanted.
I would probably prefer to try to get Geist is Saint Trapped online. There we go. So there's Geist.
It hits. Is there a... So only 1 Supreme Verdict in Leigh McCombs' deck.
But 4 copies of Huntmaster of the Fells. So that I'm assuming is a Cavern set to human, which allows the Cavern to tap for red and facilitate the Huntmaster.
I concur. It's about the only thing it could be, right?
Yeah, story checks out.
This is actually one of my favorite positions I play. I mean, I played in this position tons of times last year when Green Red Ramp with Keswick Wolfrun was one of the big decks and Delver was the other big deck. I really liked playing this position. I think it's like super high skill position and it could be one from either side.
Yeah. Hetrick really needs to find red mana too. He's got at least one pillar in his hand. And he's just actually looking at Cliff Trot Retreat, Steam Vents, and I didn't see what the 3rd card was, but it's certainly not a spell.
Went to the bottom regardless. That was pretty brutal for him. He saw exactly the cards that he needed, couldn't take any of them. So,
a Cruel Mistress.
It's actually interesting how not great the Huntmaster is. It could easily flip here, and it won't kill anybody. He's going to play another Huntmaster? Looks like it.
So.
Yep.
So, second Huntmaster of the Fells. And now he can try to set up something where he can at least shoot down the Augur and start getting in.
I think I would have been at least tempted to attack with the Wolf prior to casting that Huntmaster of the Fells.
Well, if you think he's roughly 100% to block with the Augur.
Well, it's heat check, right? You know, like, and then you also don't play the Overgrown Tomb first.
Sure, yeah.
But like...
Alright, so we're going to draw off Azorius Charm again, looking for red mana, or mana at all, instead finding Restoration Angel. That also prevents the Huntmasters from flipping, for 1 turn at least.
It's got to be less land push, right?
Oh
no, you could attack with both wolves.
Yeah, attack with both wolves seems fine.
Oh, it's casting. No casting. So.
Well, actually, I don't really mind Leigh just casting his spells here. Since Hetrick is stalled on lands, it's possible Hetrick will just do the work for you in terms of flipping over your Huntmasters. In the meantime, you're developing your board.
But you don't like just heat checking with 2 wolves? One of them's going to get in.
Oh, sure. No, I think we're going to be attacking with something this turn.
And then, depending on what his blocks are or whatever, then you decide whether it makes sense to try to flip the Huntmasters or not. But you take so many variables away by sequencing it this way.
Sure. I just think that the odds that his block is just Augur in front of 1, the end, is close to 100%, so it's not...
Well, actually, important question here is, can we prevent the flips?
Yeah, I mean, we still do not have a 4th land or red mana, so I think...
Great attack here, obviously.
Yeah.
And I heartily dislike this block. What do you think?
I'm not a huge fan of it just because the odds that Mike has another Geist of Saint Trapped in his hand feel very high to me here. and he does. Yeah, when your opponent's stalled on lands, his hand's full of spells, so I would try to devalue killing the Geistesane Trap because the odds are just good.
He keeps you from. I mean,
he has another copy, and B, he has nothing to do with his mana otherwise. So I would have just.
And he ensures that the Huntmaster doesn't flip, right? Because you give him an open to cast a spell that otherwise would have been legend ruled.
But it's also possible, I think that, yep, Leigh has Gristlebrand in his hand, so it's possible that part of that block is like. So the worst case scenario is he has Geistesane Trap, and he taps out for Geistesane Trap. I'm thrilled because now Gristlebrand sticks, and the game's just over.
So he's got red finally. Is there even a?
He's a little late to the party here.
Well, there's no outs now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Cavern on Demon. So
yeah, it doesn't matter too much because he has the Lantern, but Cavern on Demon means that his Gristlebrand's are uncountable for the rest of the game.
And
Hetrick's just gonna
let
let that one go.
That one's going down to mana gods, though, right? You got to figure Hetrick would have had a little bit more play.
I don't know. His hand was very like this fidgety Restoration Angel type of stuff, and not a lot to actually defend himself from Leigh was going to be doing. I think even if Hetrick has mana in that game, he's in trouble. Because he's just going to be sort of just attacking him, blocking while Leigh is ramming into Grizzlebrand. And he wouldn't be attacking him terribly fast.
I guess the minor value that you could potentially get from Huntmaster flips is just so badly outpaced by uncounterable Grizzlebrand the next turn.
Yes.
Sure. So, Leigh's got... There's just like a...
There's a smattering
of party over here.
We got
Thragtusk, Huntmaster.
So his creature base in his main deck is 4 Thragtusk and 4 Huntmaster the Fells. He has a Singleton Gisela, which is the red-white angel from Avacyn Restored, a Grizzlebrand, a Drog Skull Reaver, and 1 Rock's Faithmender. Scourge of beatdown players everywhere. He also has...
Look, before we continue, earlier we were looking at the various life-gaining creatures available for sideboards everywhere in Standard. And I asked Patrick, a noted aggressive red mage, which ones he was most scared of in order: Thragtusk, Rock's Faithmender, and Centaur Healer. And he put Rock's Faithmender at the front, and I was like shocked. So to me, like that's the third scariest. He's like, More's coming.
Yeah, it's
like Omar coming.
It's like, yes, the Faithmender is the least threatening of the 3 cards, assuming the other 59 cards in their deck were selected at random. Assuming that other cards are in there to facilitate the Faithmender, it's the most dangerous of them all.
It's like a 10-point Thragtusk next turn, yeah.
Right, because one Thragtusk, it's the one card that even if you land Thundermaw Hellkite can still overpower you. Like 1 Thragtusk against your Thundermaw Hellkite is just whatever.
Thundermaw's gonna race.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter. You still have a game. Centaur Healer is outclassed by a number of things. You can just kill it early and keep bashing, whatever.
Just a Hellrider outclasses it.
Right, you need more than that. The Faithmender makes all those cards into disasters, on top of what it does to cards like Sphinx's Revelation and whatever else. So it also has its body is also better for the work than Centaur Healers. So that's definitely the most dangerous of the 3, I think.
So, like you said, he's got 3 Curse of Deathhold, which are wonderful in this matchup. They're probably really good, great against Falconwrath Aristocrat, right?
Right. So his mana base is leaning very heavily on the Lantern to sort of cobble this all together. He has 3 copies of Curse of Deathhold, 3 Lingering Souls, 2 Revelations, and then Terminus, Increasing Ambition, Ultimate Price, just another suite of some more power and removal. His sideboard for the matchup, he has access to...
Curse of Echoes, sweet card.
Yep. 3 copies of Duress. The part of the problem is Leigh might not actually know exactly what's going on in Hetrick's deck, like how much permissions he has access to. It's not clear exactly how good Duress is going to be, but based on what I saw that game, I would be pretty happy to bring it in because Hetrick's most likely sideboard cards against you are going to be negates and dispels and that sort of stuff.
He's got Door to Nothingness in his sideboard.
And he has 1 refuge.
Yep.
Yeah, his mana base also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different singletons in the lands. So, like I said, I think builds in this space with the way the mana is and what the different cards they're kind of trying to cast. Once Gatecrash comes out, this is just going to be the way control decks look. There's not going to be any more.
You don't think that the other side? I would disagree with you. These blue-white/blue-white-red decks have been acquitting themselves well, especially in the hands of Jerry Thompson recently.
Yeah, I think the opportunity cost on playing a bunch of different colors is going to be very close to 0 once Gate Crash comes out, and that's just the way it's going to be. The decks are going to get constructed.
And I guess as much as I said that I like Farseek, it's going to be so easy to set up like blue-white deck that goes Cyclonic Rift, Rakdos' Return, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like the least of the sweet things that you could
Right.
you could put together. All right, so
turn 1
Hetrick,
Sulphur Falls, matched by a Temple Garden.
are you sure that's Sulphur Falls? Not a Steam Vent?
No, that's a Sulphur Falls. They do look similar, but so
Ooh, Jace 5.
Yeah, Thought Scour and a Glacial Fortress.
You're right, because another depressing Glacial Fortress is a
Coastal Tower.
I remember reading an article by my old booth mate Randy Bueller, the R&D argument about whether Coastal Tower was too good.
Yeah.
They're like, the only cost is it comes into play tapped. We can't print a card that good.
Yeah, we can't. The players would have too much fun if they were able to. If they were only casting spells, they would just have too much fun. There's definitely a line at which excessive mana fixing could be a detriment. Definitely Lorwyn Block was in that space, but certainly slightly better Coastal Towers are not crossing over any sort of
It
line.
sounds to me like you are not looking too fondly towards the world of Rangers paths for breeding pools and.
No way. The more
Farseeking.
Rab duels people put in their decks, the easier things are. If they're able
They
to,
keep taking two.
yeah, they had to cut Glacial Fortresses and stuff to make room for those kind of lands, and that's just sweet for me. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Patrick Solomon
So
provides a different perspective.
So Farseek on turn 2 found a Blood Crypt for Leigh. We're going to Thought Scour again on our third main phase for Hetrick. And I'm really concerned about the pacing of this game for Hetrick. Not that he necessarily can do anything different, but he's just sort of fidgeting around while Leigh's under no pressure and can get his mana set up. And Leigh's deck is just so much more powerful. So Master of the Fells.
That's a real card against Hetrick, too.
Yes.
Like, he actually successfully battles almost everybody in Hetrick's deck.
Yeah. So Hetrick looking, would really like to main phase something here
It
to
should
prevent the
probably.
Master.
Well, his
got a
exciting
pillar.
play is to like dive bomb that guy with a Restoration Angel, right? But you can't actually do that in this spot.
Right.
And Azorius
Azorius
Charm.
Charm.
That's fine.
Yep.
He's got to pillar that guy right now, right?
If he's got Pillar in his hand, I would not mess around here.
Or even Searing Spear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not going to get a juicier target than Master out of this 5-color control deck.
Yeah, especially if Leigh taps again on his main phase. Hetrick might just be able to go land Jace 5 and
Yeah.
be in really, really good position.
Thragtusk from Leigh.
I think he has to grind with Jace 5 first, presuming he hits it, right? He can't just nug for 10 here.
No way. Yeah.
He needs to put some loyalty.
I wouldn't
on
be
it.
surprised if he tries to set up more Restoration Angel, Augur shenanigans first before even touching his Jace 5.
Well, I don't know if he has a 5th land.
He needs to establish some sort of board so he has sufficient blockers to be able to ride Jace.
And the problem with Augur Bolus here is even if you hit, you're not hitting what you need. And he needs lands.
Yeah. I mean, he can find Ravings or another cantrip or something, but yes, what you're saying is definitely true. Alright, found a Dissipate.
Shows his skill, right? I mean, I think a lot of players in that spot would have taken Azorius Charm and then just main phase his draw a card, right?
Well, he still has a charm left over, right? He has the Azorius Charm from the original
fair enough.
Augur, so we're not quite that desperate yet.
He's a skilled magician.
Hetrick is very good. My match against him in the top 4 of LA was the first time I played against him, and I was very impressed.
What's it going to be? Huh? Azorius Charm
Yep,
it is.
looking for a land.
And
We've
is that a
got
Scour?
a Thought Scour.
That's the thing about these decks that shave lands in order to play like a ton of cheap cantrips.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get the cheap cantrips.
Yeah, you're just fumbling around, you know. I mean, this has been the whole issue from Hetrick's side this whole game is he's just spinning his wheels, and Leigh's eventually going to be able to overpower him.
What is that?
I believe that's Curse of Death's Hold.
Which is obviously unbelievable because it makes it so that Augur of Bolas can't just keep jumping in front of a 2/2 wolf.
Yep, and Moreland Haunch shut off for the rest of the game.
Completely shut off.
Yeah.
So Jerry Thompson, right again. Trap, training wheels.
Yeah, this is it's hard because Hetrick actually has a reasonable amount of powerful action in his hand. He just can't deploy any of it efficiently because he's just been trying to desperately just claw for lands for so long here.
In most of the cases we've seen these decks that have, you know, I'm going to use the term Augur of Bolas as a placeholder, right?
Yeah.
That have Augur of Bolas against these like way more powerful 5-color door to nothingness type decks. And the balance seems very, very in favor of the powerhouse decks over the grindy control card advantage decks.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, we've also seen those decks stumble on mana.
So I assume we're going to put one of our Augurs in front of a Thragtusk and Restoration Angel, would be my best guess.
Seems very serviceable. Lee's not the kind of guy who has a lot of counter spells, is he?
Not really. I guess we're doing this before blocks.
You
We missed with our Augur. It was like 3 lands again or something.
Disaster.
Oh, was that not Curse? It's
Well,
Curse.
it's a 2/3.
Yeah, but that means the card couldn't have been Curse, right? They can't quite. Otherwise, that block is
No,
green.
it's 2/3 and it kills a wolf.
Oh, I'm
3/4
sorry. I thought that was a
becomes 2/3.
Centaur. Yeah, I thought that was a Centaur. Yes. Sorry. My bad.
A land.
I'm so used to associating the Thragtusk in play with the token.
Only one up. I think pay 2, jam 5, Jace, nug 5, block, nug 5. See if you can stay alive a turn. Put some blockers in play.
Yeah, it's a path.
He's at 8, right? I mean, it's not going to put him low enough to die. He's got 3 blockers against 2 attackers.
Yeah.
And he's not going to win a fair fight right now. So he's 8 against 30. He's missed repeatedly on his augurs.
Yeah.
I think you gotta jam 5. Unless he needs to do something tricky dicky like another Resto Angel, multi-block on a Thragtusk. There's a lot of downside to that plan though.
Yeah. And those plays don't go away if you jam Jace 5. You still can do all that stuff next
Correct.
turn.
Yep. Paying 2. Here it comes.
We assume.
He's put a lot of tanking into this. Or maybe he hasn't. Maybe this is his show. Do you think it's possible? Is that the kind, I mean, I've never played him. Is that the kind
He
of...
played. The only times he tanked against me was when he had actual decisions to make. Wasn't.
I mean, you, as a kind of guy who plays a slightly less powerful deck, a lot of your advantage in in-game situations... Ooh, is he grinding? Surprising. I thought he was just going to try to hit him 3 times. He's always got 2 guaranteed hits, though, right?
He might have to hit 4 times, though, right?
Fair enough.
3 might not get it done from here. 30, yeah, I mean... And 6 life is actually super valuable for Hetrick here, since he actually does, in theory, have a Thragtusk hit he can take.
Yep.
Which he's going to do. It means all of his Rab duels are Temple Gardens, are Coastal Towers for the rest of the game, but...
What is this? Something 7. What's Leigh got that 7? Gisello?
Oh, Thragtusk. I think he was debating about... he has a Revelation in his hand. I like this path a little bit better. Just get another guy in play.
Yeah, it's a lethal amount of damage and a particularly hard kind of threat to contain. Grinds up. Obtains a Snapcaster Mage is an excellent blocker in this position.
Not anymore.
Or I mean, sorry, Resto Angel.
Resto Angel is okay, but you know, Hetrick's now in like triple chump block land. I don't think he has a Supreme Verdict or anything in his deck to get out of.
The Supreme Verdict's very bad.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, there's no way. It's weird because Leigh's just sort of beating him down, and Hetrick's sideboard plan was probably a lot of get it on the front foot and then counterspell the big stuff, and so a lot of his reactive measurements just don't even work now because he's just getting hit.
Flips Dissipate and Snapcaster and draws. Is that Rewind?
It's some Texas card. Some promo.
Probably not Rewind. I don't see that in Hetrick's deck. Leigh draws. He's so far ahead.
Yeah.
34 life ahead. His creatures are just so much better on the battlefield right now. Curse of Death's hold unspeakably strong.
Yeah. Yeah, in theory, Mullenhawk could actually give him some amount of time to like use mana to push ahead a little bit, have a blocker, but
I think that if his plan was Resto Angel, I probably would have considered doing it on my own turn while a lot of that Frag Tusk mana was tapped, because I mean it's worse if he tries it and then misses, right? Like because it gets counterspelled.
I don't know. I mean, Michael's in a position right now where he actually can't beat any more spells, period. So I don't even think it's worth playing around anything.
Fair enough.
Like maybe he screws up and tries to use a kill spell on your Augur. It's a low percentage play, but if he has any powerful cards in your hand, you can't win from here anyway. So I wouldn't.
I mean, he could win with like Supreme Verdict, land drop, Detention Sphere, but it doesn't look like he has Detention Sphere in his deck.
He needs 2 Detention Spheres.
No, Supreme Verdict, Detention Sphere.
Oh, so Supreme Verdict. I don't think he has either of those cards though.
He has Supreme Verdict.
Okay. Assuming it's still in his deck.
No. Well, yeah, it's in his sideboard, Phil.
Yeah, I would be surprised if he was bringing in for this matchup.
Fair enough.
Supreme
Actually, I disagree. Killing Gristlebrand's pretty good. Killing Drogskull River's pretty good.
But he has to be the aggressor in this matchup. He can't possibly win going late. Killing Gristlebrand's like it's fine. I guess it's better than the alternative, but he still draws 7. It implies he has 7 or 8 mana employed to use those 7 cards.
I was just gonna say something. I guess it's not applicable here because I don't think you have to be the aggressor. I think you can play even for a long time and then spike them with 1 hit from a pike. It's
sure.
But he doesn't look like he has a pike.
So Leigh McCombs wins pretty easily, 2-0.
Hetrick was pretty